So this is the new Honor 400. Now it might not be the most hyped phone of the year, but don't sleep on this thing. This thing's packing some pretty wild AI tricks, a 200 megapixel camera and a gorgeous OLED display. And I've been using this on and off for the last week, and let me just say, you may not need to go pro. Design-wise, the Honor 400 keeps it clean and classy. It's slim, surprisingly light at just 184 grams, and even though it's got a pretty large 6.55-inch display, it fits nicely in the hand. You're also getting an IP65 rating too, so it will survive splashes or light rain, but just don't go swimming with it. As you can see, I've got the phone in Desert Gold. It's also available in Meteor Silver, and if you like it a little bit more stealthy, Midnight Black. So let's talk about this display, and let me tell you, it's really nice. A 6.5-inch OLED, 1200 by 2664 resolution, and it runs at 120 Hz. It's crisp, smooth, and perfect for doom scrolling TikTok or watching Netflix. Plus there's an optical fingerprint scanner under the display, and it's fast. Not blink and you miss it fast, but reliable, which honestly is what I want. So yeah, I mean, overall this display is really nice. Those bezels are super slim around the outside of the display, not completely uniform, but to the point where you don't really notice it too much. You've got that center punch hole cutout, which is about the norm on smartphones these days, and it gets a maximum brightness of 5000 nits. So outdoor viewing, you'll have no issues at all. And under the hood, you've got the Snapdragon 7 Gen 3 paired with up to 12 gigs of RAM. It's not a flagship chip, but it does a solid job. Everything I threw at it in my daily use, from editing reels to a few light gaming sessions, handled it really, really well. And of course, the question is, why is the Honor 400 using the same Snapdragon 7 Gen 3 as its previous generation, the Honor 200? I don't know, maybe it was a, if it's not broke, don't fix it kind of situation, or adding a, I don't know, have they got 7 Gen 4? Either way, something a little bit more powerful would have bumped the price up even more. But overall, I think the 7 Gen 3 is absolutely plenty for most people. Certainly for me, I've not had any stutters in my use. And storage-wise, you've got a choice of 256 gigs or up to 512 gigs of storage. Absolutely plenty for most people. There's no micro SD card support. That's becoming less and less common on phones in general these days. But yeah, storage-wise, this should be plenty for most people. And battery is definitely another strong point of the Honor 400. You get a 5300 milliamp hour cell, and this thing just lasts and lasts. I think I had it at work the other day. I was using it just in my normal day. I don't use my phones a huge amount when I'm at work naturally, but I think I finished the day with around 60%, taking it off charge at about 7 AM and then getting home at about 5 in the evening. And yeah, still had 60% odd. And that did include listening to a bit of YouTube video on the way to work and on the way back. That's about 40 minutes each way. And then scrolling through Facebook and stuff like that on my breaks during work. So absolutely fine. 66 watt charging, a downgrade from the Honor 200, which I'll get to when I drop my comparison video on those two. Definitely get subscribed so you don't miss that one. But yeah, no complaints whatsoever with the battery life on the Honor 400. That Snapdragon 7 Gen 3 seems to do a really great job at just sipping power, being very efficient, and just handling everyday use really, really well. Now, let's talk about the camera. Now, I know numbers don't always mean better image quality, but 200 megapixels on a phone at this price, that's pretty wild. The detail that this phone can capture is actually genuinely pretty impressive. You won't be using the full 200 megapixels all the time, but it definitely helps when you zoom in or crop in, given the lack of a telephoto camera. There's also a 12 megapixel ultra wide that's a pretty decent ultra wide. You can tell it's not as polished as the main camera. There's good color consistency as well. There's not too much distortion. And then you get this, a 50 megapixel selfie camera. Yes, your selfies are now getting the VIP treatment. You get natural skin tones, lots of great detail, good subject separation in portrait mode, overall the selfies coming from this camera are really, really great. Here's just very briefly a few photo samples coming from the Honor 400. If you want more in-depth look at camera comparisons between various different devices, I highly recommend watching Darius Tech videos. I had the pleasure of meeting him at the Honor 400 launch event. Really great guy, loads of great videos. Definitely check out those if you want more in-depth look at the cameras. And video also goes up to 4K at up to 30 FPS on the rear camera. And the stabilization is pretty solid. It's not going to beat, of course, a gimbal, but for handheld stuff, it's pretty usable. Okay, so this is where things get really interesting. MagicOS 9, built on Android 15, brings some fresh AI features, and one of the standouts is, of course, image to video. Basically, you can take a still photo of a person, a dog, sunset, whatever, and it uses AI to generate a short video version. It adds natural movement like wind in the trees or subtle motion in the background. Sometimes it nails it, sometimes it's a little bit too dreamy, but either way, it's really fun to play with. And then there's Magic Portal. It's this clever gesture-based feature that you can literally swipe text, links, or images directly into apps, like dragging an address into Maps or a product into TikTok. Super smooth, super handy, and makes multitasking feel futuristic. And they were really hot on this image to video feature at their launch event. Personally, for me, it's not something that I would see myself using too much, but it's definitely a good direction to go in when it comes to AI and what the future might hold for our smartphones. And as for the rest of MagicOS, as I've mentioned in a lot of my previous Honor reviews, it's one of my favorite software skins. It's not too clunky. They seem to be optimizing it a lot better just for smooth everyday use. You get a few of Honor's preloaded apps on the phone, and you get the odd bit of bloatware as well. I think I've got booking.com, and there's a few others here and there. LinkedIn was one, I definitely didn't download that. So yeah, there's a couple of apps that are pre-downloaded. You can of course just remove them, but overall, MagicOS is absolutely great. And you get 6 years of major Android and security updates on the Honor 400 series. That includes the Honor 400 Lite. So that's a really great step in the right direction and a big improvement over the 3 years of OS updates and 4 years of security patches on the Honor 200. So Honor's going in a really great direction with their software and their support. And a few extras on the Honor 400 that I don't tend to go into in too much detail. You've got stereo speakers on the Honor 400, which sound really good. If you go to the maximum volume, you will get a little bit of distortion here and there, but they've got pretty good clarity. You've got Wi-Fi 6, Bluetooth 5.4, dual SIM support, and also eSIM support as well. There's no wireless charging here. I used to be able to say, well, at this price point, that's sort of to be expected, but I keep going back to that Motorola G75, which is about 230 quid, and that's got wireless charging. So yeah, it's one of those things that's not quite as forgivable as it used to be. So where does that leave the Honor 400 in 2025? It's certainly one of the smartest phones, not in terms of how it looks, but just where software is going in terms of the image to video and the whole AI. It just shows you how smartphones are developing in general. And when you stack everything up, solid performance, really nice display, pretty decent cameras, and really great battery life, that just seems to make it a good all-round phone. The problem is you can pick up an Honor 200 Pro, so the previous generation Pro model, for about, you can probably pick it up on the used market for around 300 quid. This is 400, and the Honor 200 Pro is arguably a better deal. You don't get the 200 megapixel main camera, you get an extra zoom camera, you get better performance with the Snapdragon 8S Gen 3, you get faster 100-watt charging, it just seems like a little bit of a better deal. The Honor 400 will certainly fit into the hands of some people. It does feel a little bit smaller, thanks to the 6.5 inch display over the 6.7, 6.8 inches of a lot of the phones these days. And yeah, the Honor 200, you're not getting the software support longevity as you're getting on this. But if you can pick a 200 Pro up for maybe 250 quid, that might be a better deal. Now, in terms of this against the Honor 400 Pro, that's about 300 quid more. Yes, you're getting the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3. You're getting an extra telephoto camera. You're getting a bigger display. I think it's slightly curved from what I can remember, but you're getting the same size battery, the same 66 watt charging. God, my mind went blank then. And all the AI features are the same across both of these phones. So there's arguments on buying this, certainly, especially over the Honor 400 Pro. But then if you look at the Honor 200 Pro, that might be a better deal. I don't know. Let me know what you think. That's just a couple of directions you can look at when it comes to the Honor 400. I will be dropping a comparison video with this against the Honor 200. I've also got the CMF Phone 2 Pro, which I will compare, and possibly the Honor 400 Lite, because you may not even need to go 400. You may be all right just going for the Lite. I have got an individual Honor 400 Lite review video on my channel, so definitely get that. Definitely check that one out. Subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one.